Hi there. Ready for the second video in the series that I'm going to do. One of the very first things that I do when I've got a new computer set up is actually install a program called LittleSnitch, which acts as a sort of outbound firewall so that I get some warnings or some more control over which programs or processes communicate to servers outside of my Mac. I sort of like to know where information is being sent. I'm a bit paranoid in that regard. So I do use this program, LittleSnitch, to control that. So I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of downloading and installing that program as well as some of the features that are available for it. So I've actually already got it open in terms of the download window from Objective Development. Again, that's obdev.at is their main page, but I've already navigated to the download page here. So we'll go ahead and download the program. It's a real small download, about 2 megabytes. So it shouldn't take very long on any connection. Once we get this one down, we'll go ahead and install it. You can see the only other program that I've downloaded and installed so far is Parallels. We'll walk through some details in that in another session. But for now, I'll go ahead and install LittleSnitch. And I'll get the standard warning. So we'll go ahead and do this. It actually will ask us to reboot when we're done. So we will go ahead and finish the install here, and then I'll pick the video back up after that reboot occurs. So we'll be right back. So we've done a quick reboot, and on reboot the first thing we will see is actually the LittleSnitch rules. This is what controls the flow of information out of the computer, and by default some of the applications will be set up. You can see we've gotten our first alert, and this is how the LittleSnitch alerts actually look when they come up. In this case, the time sync function of the OS is actually trying to initiate a connection to the time.apple.com server. You can see I can check to get additional details about that connection and the process which is initiating it. And then I have the choice to allow or deny the connection. So you'll see those are my choices down here. I can do that for the application by allowing any connection over the particular port, the particular server, or specific to that port and that server. I can do it once until the application quits, or forever. In this particular case, I am okay with Apple communicating to the time sync server all the time, so I will click on forever and then click allow. You'll have also just noticed a quick little activity monitor pop up. This is installed by default, and when there is activity occurring, it will give us the little indicator to show what's been connected, etc. We can get the current process and information, as well as visual indicators in the incoming and outgoing traffic. This little checkbox allows it to stay visible. For my particular case, I don't actually like to clutter my menu bar with items I don't use that frequently. So what I'm actually going to do is open up the LittleSnitch preferences, and in here I have the ability to turn the network monitor off, which is actually what I'm going to do. So that will remove it from the menu bar, and I won't get the little indicator when there's traffic going. I'm more concerned with the security blocking feature itself. There are a few other ones that I have the ability to do here. I do typically change on the alert section. Automatically deny if I don't respond to a connection after 60 seconds. This will deny just the initial connection, so I still get prompted if it occurs at a later date. The other thing I do leave on these other two, which is that it will try to suggest to me whether it thinks I should allow or deny, etc., and then turn off the option, or leave the option on to allow me to accept the default by just hitting return or escape. It's much quicker, obviously, than using the mouse functions to get to exactly what I'm trying to get to. I have not registered the application yet. It'll work for 3 hours if you want to try it in a demo before it stops working. I do own a license, and we'll be putting that information in just a second by using the register function. And otherwise, those are really the options that I change by default, although there are other ones that you can allow, but I will not be doing that. So that's pretty much how LittleSnitch works. You can see in the case of the one we just allowed that the connection is shown as allowing here, so I can review the existing rules. I can look at the ones I've done, the ones that I've been temporarily, etc. I can limit them by applications or system processes. I can lock a particular rule to prevent it from being changed. I can manually set up my own rule, but I usually just use the warning boxes that come up themselves to control the connections that I want to control. So this is obviously not something that every user needs, but I do like to keep an eye on what's going on at the computer, so for me it's a fairly big deal. So that's it for this one.